The most bitter there was, the most bitter there is, and the most bitter there ever will be. Once again, Bret the Hitman Hart cannot keep Triple H's name out of his mouth, and the Hitman wishes he could have put a hit on Triple H. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. Big Stevie Cool back in the house after being missing in action for a few days. He's here. Just like the Raw numbers, they've disappeared. SmackDown numbers gone. Big Stevie Cool's back, and I don't think the red and blue numbers are coming back, so enjoy him, because that's all you're getting.
Back and better than ever. You dirty stinking hyena. That guy in the suit, he's a homo. Bret Hart is a bitch, guys, alright? Big Bret, I'm sick of this guy. Let's just call it as it is. See the screw job? Necessary.
Those three H's stand for homo.
Homo, horse, homo. And, but it's right. See the screw job? Why can't Bret even look at it from a point of view? Yeah, you know what? I feel like I got hard done by, but at the end of the day, he can't hold a company to ransom. Because that's what he did.
Aye.
And what we're going to get, there's a few quotes, there's a few words he's fired out, but essentially what he's alluded to is that he would have knocked out Triple H as well if he was in the same locker room when he punched McMahon.
I mean, we'll talk about that in a minute, but yeah, see the whole screw job, man, it's 100% on Bret Hart. Let's say you work for a company or something like that, and you've got like the keys to the store, and you're leaving, and you're like, oh no, I'm not giving up, I'm not getting, it's your final shift, and you're like, I'm not giving up my keys.
I'm a key holder, but I'm going to the other company, but I'm keeping your keys.
And it's like, oh, I'll bring them back to you after, and it's like, nah, see. Then you leave your keys sitting on the table, and the owner comes in and just picks them up and like, these belong to me. Can you really be like, oh, what you doing stealing my keys? Like, they're not your keys anymore. You're moving on. You're going elsewhere. You have no right to have those keys. Those keys don't need to be in your possession.
That's why wrestling's in one of those wee weird fucking grey areas, by the way. Because it's like, oh, but it's half real. No, Bret's an employee paid by Vince McMahon, and whatever McMahon wants, Bret should fucking accept.
You know what I don't get, right? Honestly, I don't get this. Why do people accuse wrestlers that? Well, I mean, I get why they do it, obviously, because I mean they've got their favourites and they've got their agendas and they want to try and bury people and paint them in negative lights. But have you noticed that when it comes to certain wrestlers, if they did what Bret Hart done, they would have been ridiculed for years. Imagine if Hogan was leaving to go to WCW and McMahon's like, right, well, I want you to drop the title to Shawn in Toronto tonight or Montreal, and Hogan's like, that don't work for me, brother. That don't work for me, Vince. And Hogan's refusing to drop the belt.
No.
At the pay-per-view, people will be like, oh, there's Hulk Hogan. He's using his creative control. Hulk Hogan doesn't give a shit about wrestling. All he cares about himself. Selfish Hulk Hogan. People would have... See if McMahon screwjobbed on Hogan, people would be applauding him to this day.
I think there's 4 key reasons why people give Bret like a get out of jail free card. One, because he was like the original mark wrestler. Bret, bit boring, but he was like main event level, but he was mainly known for his wrestling ability, which obviously these marks today love.
Fair, that's reason 1.
2, I believe Owen's death, people have just sympathised with him more and don't really want to bury a guy because, obviously that was his brother.
It wasn't just, quite a lot of people close to Bret as well.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. Like, Freeze kind of like the entire Hart family and the foundation, what came with it. Like Bulldog, Pillman, obviously Owen and a lot of the other family
Neidhart, I don't think lasted that long, did he?
I think he only died like 7 years ago.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Like that. And what was my final reason?
Just been irrelevant for 20 years then.
Yeah. Well, what was my final reason with Bret? Fuck it.
Number 4.
Number 4. Oh god, was my final reason with Bret. Oh god, I can't fucking remember. But anyway, I'll come back to it later. But see if Bret truly fucking believed all this and, he hates them. This guy had an opportunity in 2010 to go to TNA. But no, what did he do? He fucking sold it and went back to the guys that we'll get into, destroyed him.
Yeah, but remember, Hogan buried him, so he couldn't go to TNA either.
No,
he could have went to Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor?
He could have went to Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor.
A Ring of Fire.
Down to Ring of Honor.
He was
going down.
Also, the other reason I do believe is stroke and like his concussion and the end of his career. That was my final reason. I think how his career ended with the kick
Hogan
and then the stroke and then it just obviously died a death. His career.
Hogan had a lot of stroke in wrestling and no one fucking gave him a.
No, they didn't. But do you think?
Do you
not think though if you take out all the tragedy around the Hart family, and you take out the circumstances around the end of Bret's career, around the turn of the century, he's getting fucking blasted here.
Nah, I mean, maybe, but I think it has more to do because of his style of wrestling and the marks like that. And oh, look, he stuck up to McMahon, he punched McMahon.
I mean, it could be a time thing as well. I mean, it is donkeys ago. But I'm not saying in the 2000s, Bret was like, hate it and now he's loved kind of thing. But
It's ironic though, because Bret, I mean, I'm not giving Bret all the credit here, but that kind of did create the Mr. McMahon character almost.
Yeah.
So
thank you, Bret.
Thanks.
Thanks, Bret, for.
Cheers for that.
Thank you. Right, let's get into it. So we have a few quotes. We've also got a few words that he said. So we'll just dive into it. But Bret Hart described Triple H as a, and I quote,
homo.
a homo. A guy I had very little respect for.
Oh, but before we actually get into the quote, I mean, I've seen people come and go, oh, Bret never wanted to say those things about Triple H, that those were McMahon's. It's like, why doesn't he just take some accountability? You know what? I believe back in '97, Bret did feel that way about Triple H. The way he's treated Triple H over the next 40 years, I think would lead you to believe that he actually did have some sort of hatred for Triple H, and maybe he felt like the guy was a homo. See, when Bret was saying those words, to me, it felt like he meant them. It didn't feel like, oh, look, McMahon's forcing him to say this.
No, I know.
Hold on, when else, by the way, did McMahon ever really have people call someone a homo?
Yeah, no, I know.
I mean, Jerry the King Lawler may have called Goldust one, but I mean, that was fair.
No, you may have got,
fair.
yeah, you got gay jokes, right? But everyone was kind of subject to them to a degree. But that felt personal for Bret.
Aye.
To me, it almost felt like he went off script.
But now because saying things like that isn't socially acceptable. It's almost like they're back. Oh, but Bret didn't want to say any of that. Why not just own it? That was some of Bret's best work. See, I think heel '97 Bret's the best. That was the best Bret was.
And he got all the Canadian crowds to get all their signs up, all the gay stuff on it.
Yeah, no, I think
with DX and McMahon and all that shit.
I think that was peak Bret Hart.
Yeah, but. As for Triple H, right, he says, a guy I've got very little respect for. Again, then why did you come back? Why did you get the Hall of Fame ring with Austin, the Mania 13? Why are you there?
Yeah, and he's been there multiple times, not just Mania. He did that segment with Goldberg. He's been there multiple times since McMahon was gone. Now, I know he's got even less respect for McMahon apparently, but if he didn't like Triple H that much, then why not stand by your beliefs and stop showing up?
No, but it's exact same with Goldberg, right? It's exact same with Goldberg, right? It appears to me whenever he appears with Goldberg, apparently they're both appearing at some Comic-Con event. Whatever.
It'll be nice to Goldberg.
Yeah, so
he'll come up and he'll shake his hand and he'll hug him.
Yo.
And then the next day, yeah, he couldn't work. He ended my career.
See the people we sit here and bash here on this channel, and it goes across every channel. See the people we bash, right? See if we ever met the wrestler or actor or whatever, or footballer in person. I wouldn't fucking then do a complete 180 and pretend they're great and be like, oh, I loved you, man, yeah. No, what I would do, I would blank them, because mainly the people we bash are fucking shite, and I wouldn't want anything to do with them.
No, I'll be honest though. I mean, if I met Bret, I wouldn't blank him like I'd. If the opportunity was there, I would say hello to the guy, because I do appreciate the fact that he is a legend in wrestling.
No, I'm not on about Bret. I'm on about like your Johnny Gargano.
No, I mean, if I looked across the street and I seen Johnny Gargano, I'd just keep on walking. But if I seen Bret, like, you know, I would speak to him. But at the same time, if he brought stuff up and he's like,
yes, you've got to call him out.
If he brought stuff up and he's like, I was the best, wasn't I? I'd be like, well, not really. I don't think you're that good. You know?
and then he'd blank you. He'd walk off. Right, he went on to say, and I quote, Triple H, I wish he'd been in the dressing room when I knocked Vince out, because he might not be married to Stephanie. End of quote. Now, people have took this as he wishes he would have knocked out Triple H. What do you take from it?
I think he is suggesting that he would have humiliated Triple H so much that McMahon would not have allowed Triple H to marry his daughter. That's what I'm getting from it. And you know what? I think that '97 Bret Hart, I mean, people say if Bret and Shawn got into a real fight, Bret would have fucking killed him. And I mean, I can see that. I can see why people say that.
Shawn Michaels is low hanging fruit though. But '97.
But I'm not convinced Triple H is this fucking shite bag. And maybe he's turned into one today, and I don't think anyone would deny that. But I'm not convinced that 97 Triple H is this big pussy that Bret would have steamrolled.
No, absolutely. See Bret Hart. He's not the most intimidating guy ever. You don't need to be. I'm not saying Bret can't handle his own, but I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that he decks him.
I look at I kind of just judge it based on wrestlers' reactions to fans getting in the ring.
Yes.
And I know Chris Jericho's got a history for, like, you know, standing up for himself and his beliefs and sticking by people and throwing some hands if necessary. And anytime a fan got in the ring or jumped the barricade when he was nearby, they got some. Eddie Guerrero was the same.
Yep.
And Eddie Guerrero was a fiery character that, you know, would stand up. And when Eddie Guerrero got into a fight with Angle, and he laughed about how dumb he was to try and fight Kurt Angle. But, you know, these... I look at that. I mean, you look at Seth Rollins. Fan jumps the barricade and he literally cowers up into the fetal position and comes out and says that he was. What was it he said? He was fearful for his life.
Aye.
So I mean, I look at the fact, and that time that fan jumped the barricade and was attacking. I mean, Triple H got up and he fucking threw him like a rag doll. And that to me, I don't know. I think Triple H would. I'm not convinced Bret would beat Triple H in a fight.
Yeah, no, right.
In 97.
But no, my problem with this is, right, now here, see, violence should be a last resort. Bret Hart here is pretty much saying that he would have battered Triple H alongside Vince because...
For what?
Because he refused... Because Bret himself refused to drop a belt that's no real.
Yeah, but back then, on that night, how on that night could Bret have believed or had proof that Triple H was behind it? No, I know it's came out since then. It was Triple H's idea. But how could Bret have known in that moment?
No, but...
So what would have been Bret's justification for that?
Right, either he knew or he didn't. I think it's irrelevant. Does it require violence?
No, I think deep down Bret should be like, you know what, you fucking done me dirty, but I'm the arsehole that when they dropped the belt, so he had to do it. I mean,
yeah. Yo, I'm not...
Like, no, but let's say someone breaks into your house and they're squatting in your house and you keep telling them to get out and they don't get out and you have to break the door down and chuck them out physically. I mean, maybe it's not the way you want to do it, but at the end of the day, I mean, they've kind of given you no choice almost, and I don't think Bret really gave McMahon a choice.
No, but it's like you...
Oh, but I'll drop it to Taker next. No, he doesn't want you to.
It's like you said, right? If it was another job and you go into another job and you refuse to give up the keys,
please.
Imagine you punched the boss and then you punched the assistant manager.
Yeah, but wrestling is weird because what happened here is, honestly, see in a court of law, there's no one would side with Bret Hart.
And you couldn't?
It'd be like, you're an independent contractor. This championship is property of Vince McMahon. He owns that championship. You're leaving. You're cutting ties. You're ending your employment with him. You wouldn't give him his property back. That would be theft. That he would he would be in possession of something that doesn't belong to him. And then you factor in that. What's Bret's excuse going to be in court? He changed the finish to a predetermined match. You think that's going to win you shit, Bret? No, it's not. And then you factor in the fact that Bret actually physically assaulted McMahon. See if this went to a court case, McMahon could have sued the fuck out of Bret, but you know what, McMahon's a good guy and he just realised here, this happens in wrestling. This is just two grown men having a disagreement.
Yo, it's like boxing. But boxing's real, right? Say there was a boxing, plenty of boxing matches have, looked rigged, whatever, but say three judges screwed a boxer out of his belt, or the promoter did, he just called for the belt and gave it to the other guy. Does that mean the boxer who got screwed out the belt would win in a court of law if he went around battering the promoter and spat on him?
No, but
this is fake.
He'd have more justification because that's like a real fight.
Yes, but to me this has got it's got shades. I mean, it's nowhere near as bad, right? Because he just punched McMahon. But it's got shades of the Rajah Jackson thing to a degree, because it's like at the end of the day, it's no fucking real, Bret.
Yeah, but I mean, Rajah Jackson's a fucking monster.
And also, he's been arrested.
Good.
So we're gonna make a fib on that.
Bret
no,
Hart.
but it comes to, no. But I'm not saying Bret's a monster. But Bret could have very easily have punched McMahon and killed him. McMahon could have fell and banged his fucking head. And then you're looking at a situation where he's fucking punched him because McMahon, who owns the company, decided to go one way with a finish.
Well, Bret would have probably rallied that because then Goldberg would have kicked him in the head. So I mean,
Probably, but to me, it's utterly embarrassing, man. When you actually break it down and look at the screw job's funny to talk about, but when you actually break it down and look at it, wrestling's predetermined. McMahon owns the company. It's what McMahon says goes.
See, the next time Bret talks about his work and bashes Goldberg and says, I never hurt anybody. I'll just be like, well, you hurt McMahon on Survivor Series, didn't you?
See, in an ideal world, what probably should have happened is that McMahon just stripped Bret of the belt and Survivor Series 97 could have been a tournament or something. Right? And Bret just gets quietly fired. But then without that, you don't have the moment.
Big match in Canada. I mean, it's Canadian champion.
The McMahon character's never created. With hindsight, that's shite. But
you know what, McMahon? I mean, it's not like McMahon was just trying to, hurt Bret. I mean, McMahon did actually have he had a track record of having the champion lose in their hometown.
Yeah. But it's like acting, man. If two actors were in a scene and the director changed one up on the fly and only told one of the actors, I mean, that wouldn't give the actor who wasn't privy to the change the right to go around battering people. And that's why wrestling just is a grey area. It's weird, but...
how many times have we seen matches change? The finish change? Happens all the time.
No, I know.
The only thing is Bret wasn't told about the change.
Yeah, he went on to say that there isn't a single Triple H match he would consider great. He then called him a phony who became McMahon's hit guy.
Now, that to me, that's just bullshit. We can talk about being McMahon's hit guy. What does he mean? Oh, he took out all the WCW people. Was he McMahon's hit guy? Possibly. I'm not going to dispute that. But, I mean, so what? That doesn't make sense. I mean, you could argue Taker was a hit guy as well. I don't really see why that's a negative on Triple H.
Is Paul Effect a funny though? I don't think the Paul Effect Bret's on about's a funny.
Maybe 2026 or 25 Paul Effect possibly. Yeah, I think I've lost a lot of respect for the guy, but Triple H back then, no, definitely not. It never had a great match. I don't agree with that. I mean, if you wanted to say that Triple H has never had, if we're basing it off a star level, and you say that Triple H has never had a 5-star match, I could maybe agree with that, but I don't know. I don't even know if that's necessarily true. But I would put great in the region of like an 8 out of 10, or in terms of stars, 4 stars out of 10. 4 stars out of 5. Sorry, and I would say that Triple H has had lots of them.
No.
Whether it be against The Rock, or Austin, or Taker, or Michaels, I would say that Triple H has had lots of great matches.
Yeah, fuck it. Of course he has.
I would say Triple H has had more great matches than Bret Hart.
Good matches against Kurt Angle and Jericho as well.
I'd say. Oh, I forgot. But I'd say Triple H has had more great matches than Bret Hart.
No, yes.
You agree or no?
No, I would agree. Fuck it. For me, yes.
I'm not talking about pure wrestling technical matches, but you got to factor in that Triple H has had a lot of gimmick matches in his career as well, and that doesn't mean they're not great.
But what's wrong with that?
How many great technical matches did Foley have?
I know.
Probably not many, but see if you count in the gimmick matches and the matches with big spots and stuff, then... Yeah, no, but honestly, the average person, right? Oh, I know people like Meltzer and all these fucking wrestling fanboys that want to watch New Japan on it at 6 a.m. They're different. They're wired differently, I guess, but I think the average wrestling fan, and especially the casual fan, and especially the millions and millions of fans that WWE have lost over the years, I think they'd rather watch a Foley match than a Bret match any day of the week.
Yep.
I think they'd rather see Foley getting tossed off a cell. I think they'd rather see Foley rolling around in thumbtacks. I think they'd rather see Foley pull out the baseball bat and barbed wire, and put it on fire and whack Triple H over the head with it. Bang! I think they'd rather see that.
See my favourite Bret Hart matches, right? They involve
people that are better than Bret.
Yes, but also they involve weapons. Like Austin Bret, it worked because of the blood. It worked because of the spots. The screw job. I mean, the match itself isn't great, but it's what happened. It's the circumstances. I mean, his match against Owen in the cage is good, but against stipulation. To me, everybody's best matches tend to have stipulations. Even Michael's Taker, 25's fantastic. I do prefer over 26, but 26 works because of the stipulation.
No, 26 is...
in the Hell in a Cell.
25 was the better match, but I think 26... If you're going to rewatch, I think 26 is one it just means more.
Yeah.
I think it's more memorable. Despite 25 being the better match, 26 was the one that fucking mattered.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a title match compared to a non-title match. It just has a different feel to it. But again, with Bret Hart, I had a point I wanted to make, and I've just done a U. I've totally forgot what it was.
Either or, Bret Hart, it was about stipulation matches.
It was about Michaels, right? I mean, I always think that Michaels does, first time Michaels does this the first time and he steals the show, and I normally agree with that, but the one thing I probably don't agree with is Iron Man match. I actually think the second Iron Man match was better than the first. I think Triple H Rock was better than Bret Michaels.
Absolutely.
And I know people disagree, and Bret would, call you a dirty stinking hyena, over that. But nah, for me,
what people would say is, stipulations, there was interference, all that. Yeah, but it was better.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not supposed to count that.
Yeah,
but here's the thing. See if The Rock and Triple H tried to have a pure 60-minute wrestling match like Bret, and of course it's going to be worse.
Yeah, no. So they
played to their fucking strength. Like, see Mankind, and do you think Mankind went into that Hell in a Cell match thinking, right, I need to try and outperform Shawn Michaels?
No, he went into that match thinking, I'm going to do what no man's done before, and I'm going to fucking fly myself
No,
over.
but it's like, I can't perform the way Shawn Michaels can. I can't sell the way Shawn Michaels can. I can't sell Taker's big moves. I just can't deliver what Shawn Michaels can. So what I need to do what Shawn Michaels didn't do. What's that? Michaels fell off the side of the Hell in a Cell through a table. Right, I'm going to take one step higher.
Yeah.
I'm going to fall off the top. And then he decided to fall through the fucking ring. He took...
But see, Bret, he was very safe, right? I know he got kicked by Goldberg, but Bret's not an all-rounder. Bret is not a guy for me that could do these big spots.
No, he's not.
And that's fine. There's guys like, I mean, you think of Austin, right? He wrestled one ladder match, but Austin was never a guy who was going to do TLC matches. He wasn't going to jump for a Hell in a Cell. He wasn't going to do all that stuff. Now, maybe if Owen doesn't break his neck, maybe more open to stuff like that.
But Austin's...
But he didn't need it. Hogan didn't need to jump off a ladder. Hogan didn't need to do all this shit. To me, it's just embarrassing. Some wrestlers, it's like, there's guys in the business that are all-rounders, and there's guys that aren't. But Kurt Angle could wrestle circles pretty much everyone. But you know what? See, he did a street fight. That match against Shane McMahon's epic. He could do both.
But I mean, if Kurt...
I prefer Kurt Angle's Iron Man match against Brock than their single matches. Doesn't mean that they're shite.
Yeah, I mean, if Kurt says to Shane, right, you're going to pretend you're Benoit tonight and we're going to have a wrestling, that match would have been a stinker.
Yep. It worked because it was a street fight.
So you've got to play into people's strengths. And I think Triple H has got strengths when it comes to gimmicky matches. I think Triple H had a lot of great ones. So
I know, but are we also going to sit here and pretend that if Triple H and Michaels throughout like the 2000s, if they wrestled just a plain one-on-one match, it would have been bad? No.
No, it would have been good. It wouldn't have been to the level of maybe like a Michaels Angle, but of course not.
And also stipulation. No, but see, weapons and blood, they're the more memorable. I think it's Triple H rattling Michael's fucking skull with a sledgehammer. You think of the flaming barbed wire, right? That's just... I'm just going to think, like, see Bret having the sharpshooter on Austin. See without the blood. That's just not as iconic. It is what it is. And to wrap it up, this is what he said about DX and McMahon. And I quote, "They were all such scumbags. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Vince McMahon, they were set out to destroy me." End of quote. Destroy me. What a fucking loser. What they were set out to do was, here, we're going to screw this guy out the belt. No.
See that belt that McMahon owns the rights to? We need to get it back in his possession.
How did they destroy him? What part of what they did destroyed Bret? He was leaving the company. He destroyed himself. He was the orchestrator of his own downfall.
Like, see if some guy comes in the street and he steals your bike and he rides off and then he parks it 5 minutes down the road to go into the shop and to steal another bottle of Coke or something, and you're walking down and you see your bike and you hop on it and you steal it back. I mean...
Did we destroy him?
What the fuck?
It's also embarrassing. They were set out to destroy me.
Let it go, Bret.
They were set out to destroy me.
Bret can't have a good life, man. I mean, I know people are going to say, "Oh, well, you bash people." We're on here doing it with a wee bit of fun, a wee bit of banter. I actually feel bad for Bret. I feel like when he's talking like about Triple H like this, you never feel like there's any sort of like comedy or comic relief to it. It almost feels like he does have like this bitterness and hatred in him.
No. You want to know the proof though? It's the same pish.
Yeah, it's like never.
Like, yeah, like I don't think we've heard him say he
No,
might not be married to Stephanie before, but see the stuff he says about McMahon, Triple H, Goldberg, Hogan. It's stuff that's just been regurgitated for the best part of quarter of a century. It's the same shite. I mean, and to me, that's the proof why it's like real and it's bitter. It's actually legit. It's not just him. It's not him working. It's what he feels.
And he's dead serious when he's saying all this. You know, sometimes people go on like rants and stuff, and they bury people, and they're getting like hyped up and stuff, and you think, well, you know.
See the screw job, right? See, they were not set out to destroy Bret, right? This was Triple H, Michaels, and McMahon thinking, what's the best way for business for us to get the belt off him? While probably hurting them at the same time. Because make no mistake about it, Bret was going to hurt them. He was going to hurt the company.
Even if Bret wins that match and McMahon takes the belt off him backstage and has a tournament the next night, that makes WWF look weak. Oh, what's this?
The current WWF champion goes to Nitro,
and no one could beat him. So now we're having a belt for the vacant WWE Championship because nobody could beat the champion before. That, by the way, decided that this company's no good enough and he's going to test themselves in the big leagues. Can't be doing that.
Can't be doing it, Bret. And that is where we're going to leave it. What I'll wrap it up with, I think Bret is a little bitch.
But when you're leaving, when you're going out, and normally it's an age thing, and you always put the new guy over. And I'm not saying Michaels was the new guy. But at the end of the day, Michaels was the guy staying in the company and Bret was the guy going to his WCW for the big money. Yeah. So
I just think Bret's a bitch, man. It's like, yeah, he doesn't really have the physicality anymore to maybe confront them in that way, but it just appears when he sees these guys in public, he just kisses their arse and acts all pally-pally. See Bret, right?
I would respect Bret more if the next time he's at Mania for Hall of Fame, he doesn't shake Triple H's hand.
Yeah. No. But what I don't... It's not like Bret is just speaking to a bunch of nobodies in the bar and these comments have got out. He's literally doing this at shows that are being broadcast across the world. Everybody knows.
WrestleMania 43, Bret Hart, Triple H, will it happen?
Probably not, because Triple H can't probably exceed a heart rate of like 100 or something before he blows up.
Bret versus Michaels.
That could happen. I'd rather Bret Goldberg. Imagine how bad the kick would be now.
Well, the only saving grace for Bret is I don't think Goldberg could get his leg up that high, so he'd be alright.
No, anyway, what's your closing thoughts on Bret? Will he ever change?
Nah, but you know what?
Bitter to the end, buddy.
I think he gives us content, I like him.
Nah, Bret, keep it rolling, baby.